Matthias, thanks for joining us today. And we heard about your achievements as Hungarian king. And can you tell me some more stuff about yourself?
Thanks for having me, first of all. And some things about me. I was the king of Hungary and Croatia, and then sometime later, I was elected Duke of Austria. I was actually born February 23rd in 1443, and I was born in Kosovo, Romania.
What was your father like, and how did he impact you?
My father actually did impact me a lot. So he was a famous Hungarian known as Janos Hunyadi. He fought off the Turkish forces with 50 to 100 men. He then was appointed the military governor after he did that. If my father did not do this, then he would not have gotten popular, and then I probably would not have been appointed king.
How important do you think it is for you to stay in power?
It's actually very important for me to stay in power. I'm currently doing everything that I can in order to make sure that no one takes my place as king. So I'm making financial reforms and taxes. I'm increasing the influence of lower nobility, and then I'm making military, judiciary, and administrative reforms as well.
Can you tell me some more things that you're accomplishing?
Um, so I held back the Turkish invaders from trying to take over, and I also organized a defense system so that my kingdom can have more power. Another thing that I also did was I introduced a new legal system in the Kingdom of Hungary, and I made the tax system more fair, and I established Hungarian borders. Um, Currently, we're having lots of trouble with the Ottoman Empire, but I am managing to hold them off, despite all that being said. I'm working on expanding the Kingdom of Hungary in the late 15th century, which is actually similar to how Nebuchadnezzar was expanding the Kingdom of Babylon in the Bible.
I heard that you became king at a very young age. How old exactly were you when you became king?
So the cool thing about that is I became king at only 14 years of age, um, which can also relate to Josiah in the Bible because he became king at only 8 years old, which is a very young age. So the fact that us two have the same similarities in that aspect is, in my opinion, very cool.
How do you think your kingdom will respond to your death?
So I think that my empire will continue to spread from Brandenburg to Siberia. Um, I think this is going to show how exactly how powerful my empire is because of me. And then I think it's going to prove that my legacy will still remain. I also think that it's going to show the impact that I, a person myself, have made during the reign. However, like all good things, let's be honest, the kingdom is going to come to an end because I have no children except for a son, but he's not even authorized by the law. So even if he wanted to become king, he wouldn't, he couldn't.
Has anyone tried to take over your empire?
Yeah, so Frederick the Third tried, but then I tried to destroy the base where Frederick was staying at. And this is basically why we had a rivalry, as he tried to take over my throne and rule all of Hungary. And then Frederick also tried to contest my election when I became king.
Um, where did you get Corvinus from?
So it actually comes from the Latin word corvus, which actually means crow. I'm sometimes referred to as the Raven King. That's kind of like my nickname, and I think it's kind of cool. I like being called that.
How did you manage to keep peace?
So I boosted the government instead of destroying anyone that stood in my way. But warfare was necessary in many situations. But for the most part, I was peaceful, and I chose to have as many alliances as I could.
How do you think you would respond to COVID?
Uh, I think I would most likely handle it well. For starters, I'm a very successful king, and since I care so much about my reign slash system, I would do everything in my power to not allow the virus to take a toll during my time period. If COVID did happen during the time that my time, then me and Frederick III would most likely not be in continuous battles throughout my entire reign because the COVID restrictions, like the 6 feet distancing and stuff, would change everything and would possibly allow us to unite to stop the spread of the virus instead of trying to stop each other. And also, like back in like in my time, we don't have like stuff like mask and hand sanitizer to protect us from the virus. So we would also have to keep that in mind.
What are some things that you're interested in?
So I'm fascinated with the Italian Renaissance, and that actually led to the Mediterranean influence in all of Hungary.
What impact would you say you have made on today's world?
The impact that I think that I have made, I think so. My birthplace, which was in Kolozsvár, is now renamed as Cluj Napoca, and it's actually a place for tourists to visit. I also have a house named after me, the Matthias Corvinus house, which is actually the house that I was born in, which is really cool. And that same house which I was born in is now a site where people can take a tour.
What do your people think about you, and how do you expect your legacy to be like after you pass?
So I am liked by most of the Hungarian population for sure. And I think that my name will become a symbol of strength and it will also become a symbol of independence. I also made the state's diplomacy much stronger, and I think that will make my empire like that is going to help my empire even after I pass away and die.
Who are some mentors of yours?
So two of my mentors were Gregory of Sanic and also Janos Vites.
Can you tell me any other interesting facts about yourself?
Yeah, so some things that a lot of people don't know about me is that I know a few different languages such as German, Romanian, Italian, Latin, and probably more to be honest with you, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. And then also during my childhood, I studied classical literature. And another thing I also did was I also rebuilt the palace of the royal residence, which is actually one of the largest Gothic palaces. And that's
All
all the
right,
facts.
thank you for coming out. That was very interesting, and I'll see you later.
Thank you for having me. All right, bye.